Carlos Nelson with Cascade Media Group, and today we have a special guest that's going to be at the Du Bois Learning Center book fair. And who do we have here?
Hello, my name is Anita Easterwood, and I am an artist.
Tell our audience a little bit about what you do and how you do it.
Okay, so I consider myself a portrait artist. I can draw other things, but I focus on portraits. Mainly in graphite and charcoal. I also do oil paintings. I've done art my entire life. My dad is an artist.
What's his name?
Lucky Easterwood.
All right.
Yeah.
What does he do? I'm saying what kind of.
So he does portraits as well. He also does big murals. So he is mostly known for doing. There's a mural down on Quindaro with a whole bunch of kids on it.
Uh-huh.
He did that 20 years ago. So he's done like a lot of murals across the country.
Is that where you got your inspiration to become an artist?
It is.
Tell our audience a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I realized I could draw when I was in kindergarten. I just thought it was something different. So me and my dad did a lot of drawings together. He critiqued me a lot, but like in a good way, like, constructive criticism. And then I went to college, and I ended up.
What school you go to?
I went to K-State at first. That's where I
And
got my bachelor's.
all right, and tell me where you was at in high school.
Sumner Academy of Arts and Science.
Oh, excellent,
Yep.
excellent.
Yep,
All
yep.
right.
So I graduated from Sumner in 2009, and I went on to K-State, majored in drawing, and then from there went to KU and got my master's in African American Studies.
I love it.
Thank you.
All right. And so, what's been your latest projects? Or tell them about a couple of your projects that you got that you're proud of.
A couple of my projects. Okay, so one of my favorite projects is a portrait I did of Sandra Bland, but it's not made of lines or anything. It's completely made up of her name, so it's just Sandra over and over and over again until it creates her portrait. And the reason behind that is because, when she was found in the jail cell, no one wanted her story to disappear, so they said, say her name, So that was the theme and inspiration behind that piece. That'll probably forever be.
And where can our audience see that piece?
So they can go to my website, AnitaEasterwood.com, to see and order the piece. You can also follow me on Instagram. It's U_NITALIFE. That says U_Nita Life. And they can find my work there.
All right,
as well.
give them another couple of pieces of work real quick.
Okay, so one that I'm working on right now, I have a lot of pieces of black women, and I don't really have any of black men. So I'm working on one that's called Focus, and it's of a young man who's taking a picture, and it's like
I want to be one of your
you
black.
Want to be my muse?
Yeah, I gotta. Get me together!
I need more muses. I find inspiration everywhere. So I can be scrolling on Instagram where I'm out with my friends. I'll take a picture of them, and I have hundreds of pictures. I may not draw them, or I may. It's just there.
Well,
just in case
I definitely would like to be in your collection. That's real talk.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And so, what else are you doing?
So I am also an educator. So I worked in nonprofit. I taught for 2 years
Where?
at Turner High School.
All right.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with that
I'm
at all.
familiar. We have a large sports network also.
Oh,
and so
okay, yeah.
all the high schools in the metro area, we cover.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I taught 9th and 10th grade for 2 years. I loved it. I miss my students so much. But now I'm just focusing solely on art, and I still, tutor and do things at my church with youth and everything
All
like
right.
that.
So if a client wanted to have you come and do their portrait or the family or what have you, what does that look like financially?
Financially.
I know everything is different.
Okay, I'll give you. Okay, let's say they want an 18 by 24 portrait, graphite or charcoal, no color. It starts out at $150, $175.
Right.
And then for each person, you add about $50, $75 onto that.
All right. And I talked to you before we got on camera about my grandmother in my high school and the charcoal. And at them prices, those are steals.
Yeah, it really is.
Because I think they paid $2,500, and that was back in that was in the 60s.
Yeah. Art is expensive, but you also have to realize the market and where you're at.
Where you're at.
Yeah.
That was New York.
Yeah,
we're in Kansas City.
Yeah, but I mean, in the future, my prices are only going to go up. So,
Right. Get the art while you can get it. And I'm going to be talking to you about your art because I collect a little bit and see whether we can do some business with you.
Yeah, I love
Is there anything specific that you would like to say to our audience to let them know anything about yourself that you think that will carry some weight on? Again, I'm more on the King's currency. How can we help keep our artists financially grounded where they're not called starving artists?
I would say, I'll give a little tip. So if you're talking to an artist and you're interested in getting some work and they tell you the pricing, please do not say you charge too much. A nicer way to say that is, oh, that's out of my budget. Because everyone has budgets, and that's okay if it's too expensive, but you don't want to down their work because you may not be able to afford it at that time.
Or not understand the complexity that goes into a portrait. It's not as simple as it seems. No. And the time frame. And you spend a lifetime honing your craft.
Yeah.
And that's not nickel and dime.
No. Just think how much you would expect to get paid at your job for working, 8 to 10 hours.
All right.
And think about an artwork, that takes 8 to 10 hours, and that's on the low end.
Do you work with any young kids?
With art? No.
Mm-hmm. Why? Just the opportunity hasn't presented itself?
I wouldn't say it hasn't presented itself, but I feel like I'm finally getting to the point where I'm accepting being an artist. It took me a very long time to publicly just say, hey, I'm an artist. Yeah. People would bring it up a lot, like, oh, you should teach art. And I'm like, I don't know. That's not really my thing. But I'm just not getting to the point where I'm accepting, hey, this is my thing. So I'm open to it.
All right.
And I'm definitely willing to do that because, I've taught kids in other capacities. Why not?
Right, and I'm saying getting them involved. Yeah. And my whole thing is, from my point of view on your conversation, you're talking about your culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that is very important.
Yeah.
Because our culture is being hijacked 7 ways from Sunday, from hip-hop to our style of dress to our language and everything. And it's important to bring our young kids on and have good mentors like yourself that have had projects and that you've walked the road that they're walking now. And as you said, you always wasn't an artist.
Yeah.
And something, that light bulb went off and now you like, the heck with the job, the heck with this. I'm an artist and I'm going to do what artists do.
Right,
I'm going to perfect my profession and my skill set.
Yeah.
On a 1 to 10, what's your skill set?
Oh my God.
Yeah, got you on the spot here.
I'm very hard on myself. I'm gonna say like a 7.5.
7.5.
Because I can't be at my peak. I'm only 27. There has to be, I'm gonna say 7.5.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any last parting words you'd like to say to our audience about coming to see you on February 23rd?
No, just come see me, support Black art, Black artists.
Well, are you going to be bringing some of your pieces?
Oh, yes. I will be bringing my pieces. I'll have a few mugs with my artwork out there. And if anything sells out, you can just go to my website and purchase from there.
Excellent. Pleasure having you on the show, and we look forward to seeing you on February 23rd, the Boys Learning Center.
Thank you.